From being out of the game for 3 long years to cruising to the heavyweight title at UFC 285, MMA legend Jon Jones might just be the greatest fighter of all time. But despite all the heroics, Colby Covington claims Bones may have paid Frenchman Cyril Gane under the table to take a dive. Honestly speaking, I think this is probably one of the most outrageous claims I've ever heard. Because when it comes to Jon Jones, fight fans are used to hearing things about how he's either doping or doing drugs outside the octagon. Apart from that, there's never been a shady accusation towards his dominance at the promotion. But for Colby to just get up randomly and call him out for bribing Gane to take a dive at UFC 285 is absurd. For starters, is there any proof that Cyril took money in exchange for giving up the heavyweight title? And I know what you're thinking right now. Colby is a troll known for making these comments. But in reality, it's a massive allegation on both these fighters. During an interview with James Lynch, Chaos also shared this insane backstory about how it all must have happened. He claims Jon's 2 brothers actually flew to France, met Gane, and paid him big time to take the fall at UFC 285. And just to add some context, both of Jon's brothers are NFL stars who found a lot of success in that sport. So in just one statement, Colby has managed to throw shade at 4 different people. As outrageous as that might be, I'm actually impressed. It seems like he must have really thought things through. But at the same time, the fact that Cyril was terrified inside the octagon doesn't really help with everything that's going on. What do I mean by that? Well, Colby's claims just became a whole lot more believable. I could never have imagined the main event at UFC 285 going the way it did. I was expecting a high-voltage matchup between 2 monsters, set to showcase their skills and firepower. But what do fight fans get instead? A petrified Gane scared of squaring off against Jones. And I'm not saying Jones didn't do a heck of a job getting him into the guillotine, but there was 0 resistance. It's like Cyril gave up the moment he got caught in the lock. He didn't even bother moving around or trying to find an escape. And gave up without putting in any effort whatsoever.
See the choke. He's under the chin.
Oh, that's a lot of that's it.
I wouldn't call it an embarrassing performance, but it was in no way a fight for the heavyweight title. The Frenchman looked like an amateur in front of Bones, and with Colby blasting Jones for slipping him cash under the table for the heavyweight title, his claims just become way more believable. And before you start ripping me apart, I didn't say it's true. All I'm saying is, Gane's performance inside the octagon just makes it a bit more believable. But what's the deal here? Does Colby have something cooking with Jon? It's not exactly the first time he's taken a swipe at the heavyweight champion.
I hope you're training, my guy. You're the greatest heavyweight of all time, and that's what I want.
Believe it or not, Colby and Jon go a long way back. Both fighters were quite the buddies in their college days.
On to business, yo. I just took care of Miami street trash. Now it's time to take care of Louisiana swamp trash.
But ever since Chaos tapped into his villain personality, he's taken quite a few shots at Bones. In short, both these guys have history. There's bad blood between them.
I'm coming for you. If you don't answer the front door, I'm gonna knock it in and I'm gonna take what's mine. That welterweight belt.
And considering how Colby has pretty much taken the responsibility of being the odd guy out at the promotion, for him to make these cheating allegations isn't really a big deal. The majority of fight fans and MMA personalities know he's only doing this to make the headlines again. He's being pushed for a title shot against welterweight champion Leon Edwards, and if you ask me, I think this is the perfect time to hop in the spotlight.
Love me or hate me, I'm just getting started. You haven't seen the best of Colby Chaos Covington yet. I'll be back in the gym on Monday.
Maybe that's the whole reason why he made these comments in the first place. He knows he has a good chance at fighting for the title, so why not say something controversial and have his name thrown around in the media? And in case you don't believe me, let me shed some light on what Covington said a week after making these allegations. He literally called Jones his old pal and expressed a desire to fight under his card in the same event.
I've been working for this for a long time. You know, a lot of people thought I wouldn't even be coming back.
There's word going around that Johnny Bones will be fighting Stipe Miocic at UFC 290 with the heavyweight title on the line.
Oh, yeah, baby. Y'all want to see me beat up Stipe?
And since the UFC loves stacking up interesting fights, it's possible we might see the two college buddies reunite at the same event. But yeah, the fact that he said this like a week after the allegations just makes me wonder. Maybe he was messing around the entire time. Plus, I think that's also the reason why no one has reacted to the allegations. Not Jones, not Cyril Gahn, not even Joe Rogan. No one has reacted to the cheating allegations, and I don't know about you, but if you ask me, I think that's enough for anyone to understand that it's nothing but drama at this point. Colby is only doing this to stay relevant, so he gets his shot at the title. Or at least that's what I think. And like I said before, cheating allegations aren't something new at the UFC, but it's never been about money before. I'm sure all of you have heard about certain fights being robberies in broad daylight or the usual PED stories, but under the table money, that's a first. So yeah, back to what I was saying. The only reason why everyone has refused to react to Colby's statement is because they know it's absurd. Talking about it would only get him more attention, and that's probably the last thing they want right now. I am expecting someone like Helwani or Rogan to eventually talk about it, but as of right now, I don't think anyone even wants to play around with that idea. Because even though Covington has pretty much adopted the role of class clown at the promotion, those are some very serious allegations he's throwing around. I'd be a bit more careful if I were him, because the last thing you want is being on bad terms with the promotion. But regardless of all the noise, Covington still thinks Jones deserves to be at the top. During this same interview, Colby supported the fact that Jon might just be the greatest fighter of all time. And even though Gahn looked terrified that night inside the octagon, you can't take anything away from Bones. He went in there and did what he does best: dominate. It was a solid performance, and Covington knows it. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder why he'd say these two things in the same interview. I mean, just think about it. On one hand, he's calling out Jones and his brothers for slipping money under the table, and on the other, he's calling it a dominant performance. So yeah, I'll stick to what I was saying earlier. This is nothing but a cry for attention, and the timing is also ironic since he's facing a lot of heat for hurling some serious threats. Either way, I'm sure he doesn't mind the extra attention since Dana White has somewhat confirmed he's next in line for a shot at Leon Edwards. And as for the cheating allegations, I think they'll die down in a couple of weeks since no one even wants to comment on them. Everybody is already familiar with his tactics, and maybe that's why they're willing to let it slide under the rug. Anyway, that's everything Colby had to say about Jon Jones versus Cyril Gahn.
Last thing.
The greatest